Welcome back to another TerranScapes video. This video is going to be unique in that I've had some people request in the past a tour of the studio, and I have been reluctant to do so. And I'll say this in the video, I already shot it and edited it. You know, because this is kind of it's like a personal space for me. But I thought, and I'll say it in the video, that my viewers are great to me, and I have a feeling that many of you out there would like to see it. So my only warning, or heading off questions, is that you're going to see in the video lots of areas masked off and blurred. Not everything in the studio is for public consumption, and I will say that took me a long time because I don't know if you know anything about editing videos and using masking, but you have to create the mask and then you move the frames forward. Whoop, whoop, it's off my face now, right? And then I have to move it over and then move the frames forward a little bit. And so you have to keep moving it around and tracking where you want it to be. This video has more keyframes in it and masks than I've ever done before, but I got into a little rhythm and it wasn't too bad. But boy, it makes me, I think Adobe Premiere Pro, I think it has an auto mask tracking thing. That would be juicy for something like this. So maybe a software upgrade somewhere down the road might be in order. But in any case, I'm going to take you inside the layer, give you a little looky-loo, and as you know, I'm always thorough, so I'll show you most of the nooks and crannies, tell you what's in them, and the wrap-up is in the tour segment. So I'll just say thanks for joining. I hope you enjoy the tour, and stay tuned to the channel. You know I'll be back with more. So I've had a couple requests for a tour of the studio, and generally if I get more than one request for something, it probably means there's a bunch of people out there who would like to see it as well. I'm a little reluctant to do it because I feel like this is sort of a personal environment that and some parts of it, I don't really care to show, but my YouTube viewers are awesome, and they're loyal, and they like me, and so I'm going to give you a little tour. So let's start at the, I'll call this the command center here. This is where I do all of my video editing and computer work, and I recently got a new monitor. Oh man. Previously, see that little laptop there? That was my screen. And trying to edit a video on that screen is not fun. So I decided to invest in a monitor. It wasn't too much. I think it was about $300. 24-inch. It's currently rendering a little video for Patreon. But wow, does that make a nice difference. In any case, so there's my computer down here in the corner. Now I know it's dark and the exposure is going to be weird for this. I am not going to do a lot of editing, but you can see some weights. Believe it or not, I have exercised in the past, but these are mostly weights now for actually holding down stuff for work. Boy, having 300 pounds of iron in easy increments is nice for holding down boards while they dry or whatever. My favorite stool, which is the only stool, which also doubles as a table next to the workstation at the moment. Pretzels are the snack of choice right now. Then I have, this is relatively new, this is the board of upcoming projects, and they're scheduled far into the future. We'll skip that for now. This is my YouTube video Patreon content to post. So these are some of the videos that I have in mind to shoot. This list never seems to get smaller. Unfortunately, it probably gets bigger and probably has a few things that could be added to it. But in any case, I got this chalkboard when I was teaching, and they were renovating the school, and they were pulling out all of these chalkboards. Look at this. This is slate. This is nice. And they were putting in whiteboards. Oh, and they were smashing these up and throwing them in a dumpster. How insane is that? So I stole 3 of these, and the guy who And by steal, I literally went in after school with some pry bars and tools and popped them off the wall. And the guy who helped me get them home, I gave him one of the boards. These things weigh a lot. That's a big piece of slate. Let's see. So coming across, you've seen some of this workbench before, but I'll give you a quick rundown of what's up there. Craft sticks, alcohol, most commonly used paints on a turntable, some less common. We have adhesives, some things I probably should clean out and get rid of. This is where I keep my gels and some other mediums. There's the crackle, some more adhesives, by the glue. There's my scooter stick, and some, you know, more, I don't know what you want to call them, caustic materials maybe, xylene and whatnot. Then over here, this was the test practice piece for the lava when I did the cliff project. I don't know why I still have it up there, but I do. And here I have all of my Silfor stuff. Velcro is the key to, oh, that needs to get fixed, to keeping all of these things organized, because this shelf is full. We've got flocks. Is that focusing? All right. Oh, okay. It's autofocus. Then there's some blah, blah, blah. Anyway, some foliage that I've sifted and sorted into cups. Static grasses. Here is the super leaf that I've talked about a little bit in the past. I've got some knock leaves here, briar patch, and then we go into water effects and snow materials, as well as gesso for the rocks, some remnants of Velcro. I probably need to get more. Then coming down we have general turntable for small items, the silver bullet. In the back, my basics paints. Then I have brush holders. I got these a while ago, and another turntable, and this is where I keep all my adhesives and magnets and, you know, like super glues and weathering powders and, you know, all the other stuff like that. Then in the back here, I've got my airbrush paints over there. This is all my collection of you know, GW and Reaper and games colors and other paints, Dremel bits. Then coming down, oh, well, I don't know. We'll make it comprehensive. Alright, 2 seconds. I built these benches when I first started TerranScapes. These are based on these, I'll get my rag out of the way here, these sort of corner pieces. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of this system. Oh, it's something like 2x4. It's something like that. And basically it's designed with these corners, and they have receivers to receive 2x4s. And what I did is I just bought 8-foot lengths of 2x4s. Actually, I don't know what, they're 12 or something. I had to cut them. And then 8-foot plywood, 1/2 inch. All I had to do was cut it widthwise, so one rip, mount that on the top. Did that for the shelf, did that for the shelf. These went together so fast. Only problem is you can't adjust the shelf depth. But it comes with a few extra things like this clamp, so I use this to hold my rag. That's a scummy rag, where I store my tape. And then it's got a couple like little hooky doodads, and I throw all my other little tools in there, like screwdrivers and pliers, and tin snips are up here, and a few other things. Then down below, now we'll see, well, I may have to just tell you what's in here. This is where I keep my regular tools, jigsaw, drill, all of that stuff. You know, over here I've got some like paper materials, wax paper, cheesecloth, then my scale, and my turntable. And then over here, this is the sorting system for all of my flocks. Ugh, that's not going to show. I'm not going to do any color editing on this, so, well, maybe just a little general color, but I'm not going to try to boost this. Then there's a bunch of stuff over here, like books and videos that I've purchased and things that I really don't look at anymore, and I used to have a ton more stuff on here, and I finally got rid of some. Some of these books, though, this is like where I keep notes on some projects and what to do with them and how I created certain effects. Then down below, this is where I have all my styrene sheets, all of my rods, strips, corner angles, all that sort of stuff. I try to keep that all organized. I have, let's see here, so I clip them all together. So what is this? Oh, these were all my solid rods, I believe. No? Yeah, solid rods. Anyway, half rods, something like that. I try to keep things organized. You can see every now and then I got to go back through. This is a bunch of materials that I don't use. Corkboard, granny grate, some other things. I don't want to get rid of it though, because someday I might use it. This is my camera setup for shooting my videos. So I put this on the stool, and then I use this to line up the camera and check the focus before I start recording. So that is what that piece is there. And let's see, we'll keep coming across. This is where I have cutoffs from the silver bullet making board edges. There's some balsa foam under there. This is my sanding organizer. So I made a bunch of blocks for sanding, and I've got some craft sticks that I've wrapped some sandpaper around, and then these are sort of sorted by grade of grit. And there's some unused space in the back there. This is some silver bullet materials and the nutter. Here's my airbrush, and I have the compressor under here as well. The compressor stays under there when I am running it, so that's kind of nice. Over here, I have my belt sander. It lives here all the time unless I'm going to use it, and then I pull it out. That's a nice belt sander. It's not terribly expensive. God, I love that thing. I never use the disc, though. I'm not going to talk about that. Heat gun. Oh, and quite a ways back, I put in a larger power strip so I could plug in a bunch of stuff. I don't run everything on here all at once for people who are going to get worried about, you know, electricity. Anyway, it's got its own circuit breaker or whatever. But, you know, you'd look at it and it looks like I'm not using it all. There are many times, especially when I'm shooting videos, I have every plug full and I need one more. One would think that a 10 plug adapter would be enough. Anyway, alright. This is my second workbench. This is just, what is this? I think this is called melamine board, and it sits on top of this larger workbench that I got from a friend quite a ways back, and I used to have it this way, and then I ended up, when I built these two tables, I turned it sideways, threw it in here, and I can throw this across the bench, so I still have a little bit more workspace. This contraption here is my hot wire table. It's, I'm not going to show you a lot of it. I may show it in the future sometime in more detail, but it's something I built and it still functions fairly well, but let's not call it awesome. Let's see here. Here's where I hang all of my hot wire tools. This is all the hot wire foam factories, including the tippy cutter. There you can see my LED light, and I got a new Gorilla Pod to hold my small camera when I do the 2-camera angled shots. And of course here we have the Hot Wire Foam Factory's deluxe 3D table. And then in the back I've got my Dremel stand, which I don't really use because normally I have my Dremel, let's see if you can see it, hanging up there in the corner, and that allows me to just pull the flex shaft down so I can use it right at the bench. And over here is Chemical Central, if you thought that was Chemical Central. So let's see here. We've got casting rubber. This is Rioflex. There's the Vinamold. Some wax paste relief. Paste relief? My goodness. This is wax paste release. Brush it onto a mold, that sort of idea. Let's see here. These are all of the extras for casting, release agents, tints, dry gas, kick it, you know, to accelerate it. In the back is a propane tank. I got a propane torch somewhere, but I think it's out in the garage at the moment. Up here are all the paints that I use for most of my projects. The paints are gallons, and I've got colors for all of the normal things that I do, the deserts, the oceans, the normal browns and all of that. People often ask me what colors I use. All of these are custom mixed. I went down with a swatch and I said, make me some of this. And that's why I can't tell you what color I use, because there's no recipe for it except what I mixed up at some point years ago. This is my gorgeous hood. Yet again, another sort of cobbled together thing that gets the job done. It's not beautiful, but it gets the job done. Basically, it's got a duct fan in the side here, and then that runs up to a hole I cut in the wall. Very scary cutting a hole in the wall of the house. I don't know. And I wired up just a little switch to it. It's not a huge suction, but it's enough to create a little bit of negative pressure, so when dust and stuff is in there, it tends not to billow out. And I'll do most of my spraying in here of aerosols, and when I do my paint spraying, I do it under here as well. And I tape up some newspaper, and I'm going to be doing liquid sprays like latex, so that when I'm done I can pull the paper down and this isn't like shellacked in 6 inches of paint, which it would be by now. Here is my clear coat. It's been out since I've been working on the ocean boards. And let's see here. Chims, casting resins. I'll be talking about these a little bit in the future. This is a brand new one, polyoptic, very expensive. I have to use it before it goes bad. It's for the oceans. We'll talk about it. Here are my urethane plastics for casting, plus expanding foams in the back. Mixing cups, aerosol paints, aerosol air dusters, very useful for a variety of things. Let's see here, inks, some brushes that are used over here that I don't really care about, paint openers, wire brushes, that sort of idea. And down below, this used to be full of Herstart's casts, sorted into these boxes. You can still see one of the remaining boxes here, and yeah, there was a ton of them, and I ended up, that was part of the giveaway when everybody won boxes of casts. Oh no, I actually sold those for not a lot actually, but that was fine. I was so glad to get rid of them because this was, I had like 300 pounds of plaster under here cast. This is where I'm storing my Bragdon rock molds. This is electronic stuff, so this is where I keep all the things when I was doing all the wiring, and there's some stuff in the back for the wires themselves and soldering gear and that sort of idea. Spare Dremel equipment. Down here are all my clays that I use for making masters or when I'm mold making. Sandpaper, that is the bulk, that is not part of the sorted area over there. Here I have a few collections of masters, things that I haven't gotten rid of, don't want to get rid of just yet, and I might, make copies of it in the future. Some spare casts I haven't really gotten rid of, and I don't know if I'm ever going to use them, but at the moment they stay. This is a what do you call this? A fatigue mat, because this is a. Don't look at my floor too much. But in any case, boy, that got dirty over time. It looks dirtier through the camera than it almost does in person. All right, and last little look. Oh boy, it's dark over here, and I can't turn on a light. This is part of my lighting situation. Oh, I got 2 bulbs out right there. People ask me why I don't do some, I can't remember what it was, some work over here. They're like, how come you don't, oh, like airbrush over here or do something else? And quite frankly, there's terrible lighting, and I didn't want to deal with adding more lights. So I put this light in, but it really is pretty dark over here, although it looks much darker on the camera than it actually is. But this is where I store my vacuum chamber. This is where I store the brand new Semi-Pro 2. But I store the gun itself up here, and this is where I can hook it when I am, so I'm painting. Whoop, paint, and then in between, when I got to go grab another board, I can just hang it up there. And that's been actually working out pretty well. And we'll swing around to the other side. And I think showing this is harder on me than you might think. These are all old molds that I don't want to get rid of, but use not at all now. And I may go and offer some casts in the future, but let's not talk about that. Don't ask me any questions about it, please. I don't know when or if I'll do it. More molds that I made. This is where I used to store all of my Her Starts molds. I still have some that have not sold. That is what you see here. This used to be stacks like this, like this, like this, like this. This was totally full. You know, a couple $1,000s in Her Starts molds. Yeah. Let's see here. Some more molds, some that I've made. Up here, a couple of the larger molds that I don't really have much space for anywhere else. And these are the mother mold shells that you see, so they're easy to stack. And here, this is part of a shelving unit that was here when I bought the house. We. And actually, it was a little bit longer, and I cut it in half, put in a new side, and then there's another section around the side, which I'm not going to show you, even though it is work-related. And this has been, in general, a work-holding place, but since I've changed in format for what I'm doing, it's now sort of morphed into various ways I'm trying to keep things organized. So going from bottom to top, this is where I'm storing all of my bits at the moment for my personal GT Unplugged project. You can see the building that I have been working on, the chapel. Obviously some new things have happened. I'll be talking about that soon. Inside there are a bunch of bits that will be added to the project down the road. On the second shelf, the dreaded composite mold I cannot get rid of. And all of this is all review materials. I'm going to do an aerosol paint review with acrylic aerosols. I've got some textured pastes. I've ordered a couple different modeling putties. So I've got epoxy sculpt and green stuff, and I've been working with the Milliput, and I've got a couple fillers. That's all coming up. So, you know, it's like, just get down to it and shoot the videos. There's a lot to shoot. So here is more like current to-do kinds of things for the board set that I am working on. We'll talk about that in a second. Up here, some more sort of to-dos and storage pieces for the board set. Here are some cast rocks from the Bragdon molds that I'm storing while I think about where to add them on the other ocean boards. And when I need to, and in the past I've done this much more so, this gives me some room to store additional boards. This is a bread rack that a friend got for me, I think for free. And let me tell you, this is the most valuable, one of the most valuable things in the studio. Basically, I cut plywood for the shelves, and it holds, let me see, I'll do the count here, 2, 4, don't mind that alarm, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, I lost track, about 18 slots. It's perfect for modular boards. I can rack them up. When I do my smaller boards, I can put 2 in each slot, so I really can fill it up, and I don't know what else I would do without this, so it's huge, and I can't say enough about how grateful I am that my friend scored that for me. And lastly, I think we're pretty much done here. This is where I store some of my styrene that I've been using for board edges, and a few other pieces of foam and wood that are kind of like scraps when I need to support some small things and bring them over to the hood to paint. And what I will not show you for sure is what is behind this door here. Boy, that autofocus, huh? That's not... Wait a minute. There we go. Behind this door is a storage area in the back, and that is where I store all the lighting for the videos, my tripod, boxes, vacuum cleaners. Then there's actually a sub room in the back over here, and that's where I store some finished materials and stuff I hardly ever use. There's quite a bit back there, and it's such a mess, I won't show you. So, that's pretty much a round robin of most of the studio here. Hope that gives you a sense. You can see the stairs now going up. This is my my dungeon, as it were. Although, you know, we'll call it a studio here, and we'll sound more professional. Oh, and I didn't mention, all right, I'm trying to be thorough here. You know me, right? I'm always trying to be thorough. All right, what do I have under here? This is where I store my sand for coating boards. In the back is some leftover Merlin's Magic I don't use anymore. I have some large quick clamps. I could probably use more of those. In this big box here, I have my Sculptamold, lightweight spackle, boost for foam coat in the box down below. At my ever-present dust bin pan, my God, I go to this thing like 16 times a day. A crazy bucket full of nasty water. I use this to rinse out really nasty stuff. A couple bricks, always needed for holding down things or propping up things. I have grated gravel in the back, various sizes from dust up to fairly chunky, so I can add those. Focus. So I can add those to projects on a need basis. And oh, and down below, never have too much of that, newspaper to coat things when I do work. So that is the tour of the basic structures of the studio. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, it feels a little personal sharing all of this, as it's sort of the secret world behind TerranScapes, if you will. And I often think it looks a little less fancy than I'd like to put forward as an image, but at least it gives you a chance to see I'm just an average Joe like everybody else, and I cram an awful lot of stuff into a very small space. And that's why when I say, "Ooh, more equipment," I had to make room for the silver bullet, and by make room, I had to move a lot of stuff out of there for it. I don't have any more room for anything else. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and you know I will be back soon with another TerranScapes video.